I'm Carrie Trenholm. Welcome to my studio. Glad to have you here. One of the questions that you mentioned I thought was really interesting is how did I get started doing fused glass? And I was teaching at Canyon View High School at the time, and I went to visit my sister in Portland, and I walked by, it's called Bullseye Glass, and they had a little classroom sample pack of all these little colored pieces of glass that you could take home and fuse. And I had no idea how to do any of that. I was teaching photography and basic art. And so I went back to the ceramics teacher and I'm like, hey, let's play with this, let's figure out how to do this. And he hadn't really worked with glass either. So we were really excited to kind of try things out in his kiln. We had to figure out firing schedules. And the first piece I made is hanging up in the window over there. It's not attractive at all, really, but I love it because that's where my jump start was with glass. And I was addicted instantly. My husband was really sweet and bought my first little kiln and gave it to me for Christmas. And that's where I got started. Lots of mistakes, lots of trial and error. I have a lot of ugly pieces laying out in my yard. There's some rocks over here when you walk down the steps to my basement. And it's been a fun learning process for me. My glass comes already pre-made. I get it in sheets and I have to make sure that I use glass that's compatible. All the colors have to be able to melt at the same temperature. When you try to do it with stained glass, they're not compatible and things will break. And I've tried to bring little pieces of glass home from Italy and try to use them, and they'll just rip right through a bowl that I've made. So there's a learning process there. Another thing that I really had to work with was you've got to clean your glass really, really well. Your glass cleaner can't have ammonia in it. Your towels can't be, you can't use detergent. You can't use fabric softener. You have to let them air dry, and they have to be 100% cotton. And it was Susan Harris that helped me with that because my glass was all really streaky, and she could figure out the chemical reasons as to why that was happening. So huge process there. Cutting glass, if I warm it up, it cuts so much better. So I have a little heater sitting on my desk right over there that I warm the glass up before I try to cut it. And that really cuts down on the number of breakage that I have, loss in glass when I'm trying to get pieces to work together. Another thing is you've got to make sure that your cutting tools are oiled really well. And it's a lot of hope. A lot of hope when you're cutting, and Band-Aids, I guess I should say. Sometimes the things that are most enjoyable is when it comes together, because there can be a lot of frustrating times before that happens. When you're cutting something out that you're trying to do to create like a sagebrush look, and it's not quite working and you have to kind of keep playing around with it. The satisfaction comes after, I think, more than anything. The process can be one of those things that you keep thinking about during the night, going, oh, I need to try this a different way. Or use a different color here, or something like that. So the things that really inspire me, I think, is our environment. We live in such a beautiful area, and the piece that I made for the SUMA art auction is just taking walks up the canyon and just I love the colors that you see in our hills. I love the angles and directions that you see with all this uplift and movement that we have in the different layers and levels. It's gorgeous. I love the sound of water running, so I generally have water in a lot of the pieces that I make. Or sometimes it's just abstract in putting things together. You kind of move them around until you feel really content with what you're making. What I think is so impressive about SUMA is how it came about. So I am absolutely inspired by Jimmy Jones. And we had a lovely afternoon with my husband and his brother. We went out and sat with Jimmy, and he showed us around his beautiful home. And to think that later that he donated this home that looks into Zion, and his last 14 paintings that he created, these enormous paintings to get SUMA off the ground, was just so impressive. As a child, he knew we needed an art museum, something other than just a room in the basement in the Braithwaite Center. So I loved that vision and that desire to really do something to make that happen. I thought was really instrumental. And the fact that we had a president at the time who was like, yeah, let's do it. We do need an art museum on our campus. And he, doing what presidents do, went around and he got in touch with Beverly Sorenson. And Beverly Sorenson, I loved working with her. And for her to make the generous donation that she did, her concern was making sure that every kid in Utah had an arts experience. And to go beyond that and to make sure our community had an art museum just speaks so highly of her desire to bring something so instrumental to our community. She was lovely, and I think of her often. I have her little picture that we took together at one Christmas, a couple Christmases before she passed away. So those people inspire me, and I think we need to support this museum and make sure that it continues on for our children down the road, for our whole community.